show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said. Nightmares, I don't care.
It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA. Ready to talk geeky things with all of you and with our crew here. First of all, from the Big D, Dormont, PA, and Studio C. He's a gadget guru of Big Bank International Esquire. He's the Chilla, John Chichilla.
I'm the Chilla. The Chilla with the old tech. The old hoopties having problems.
The Chilla with the old hoopty and the old chipsets to run Minecraft on. But man, you were talking about on Patreon, like just getting some old hardware to do new video and video game things, and even that we're talking about, like I gotta go check what year I did purchase the computer we run all of this on. It may be 5, 6, 7 years at this point, and I know you're talking about 2013 computers doing some stuff. So it's amazing kind of how far a lot of this hardware can go actually at this point. But also with us. She's hanging out with us. She's a social media extraordinaire herself. She's the Dudders, Katie Dudas.
Hello, friends. I have no new or old tech.
You run your laptops.
I'm not having any issues with anything at the moment.
You run your laptops too. You're literally holding it together with Hello Kitty duct tape. That's the line there. It's impressive. I don't even know if that laptop was an Intel. It was so old, but you got the use out of it. That's for sure. No, good to have you back on here. But
you know what? I need to buy a new mouse. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my current tech issue. Is this mouse that's barely working and falling apart?
I'm so horrible about having good mice around. I just like whatever Amazon basics I can throw into the thing for when we're on location for stuff. So, but anyways, this is the AwesomeCast, where sometimes we have a Festivus poll airing of grievances of our technology woes, and then a lot of times we try to talk about the awesome things happening in technology and science sometimes, as we might get to here. But please go check out everything out at awesomecast.com. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow the AwesomeCast Facebook page and the group where a lot of the discussions are happening, stories throughout the week. We got a couple in our rundown. I hope we get to that were submitted. And also, please subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app for the AwesomeCast tech news and geekery from Pittsburgh here. And you can also follow the Sorgatron Media master feed, where you'll get this and other great Sorgatron Media podcasts that we have going on. And we are live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Facebook Live, on the Twitch for Sorgatron Media, and on the AwesomeCast YouTube page. So you can be a part of the discussion there, and I'll actually tweet so people know that that's happening right now. So you can join us on any of those, and please comment. We do try to keep an eye on that throughout the episode. Like Dave Ponner of the iPhoneography podcast is out there right now. And also, thank you. Speaking of, he's part of our Patreons, patreon.com/AwesomeCast. At the Coffee Club level, our friends following the show, again, they get some extra bits of us talking before the show here. Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky, and Scott McTaggart, and Mike Pound joined, of course. And at the fan of the show level, and wait, that Mike was just on last week, right? This has happened since. Brand new Patreon supporter, Mike Pound, has joined us on the Patreon. And fan of the show level, our friends at Michael Fedor, pjsmuseums.org, Professor Buzzkill, and Dave Podner, as I mentioned before. You can support the show, help keep the lights on, help keep the podcast rolling at patreon.com/wrestle. That AwesomeCast. I did that on the other show too. Jeez. Yes, AwesomeCast. I don't know what show I'm on. Let's get started. This seems like the right mood to start the show with. Dudders, what's your awesome thing of the week?
It's a giant cat.
Because of course it is.
It's a giant cat in Japan. It's a 3D cat that is perched on the side of a building. And let's see, it's on it's a Starbay 3D LED billboard in Tokyo. The cat is the size of a yacht on a screen 3 stories tall. It is a 4K display. Didn't officially open till the 12th, but you've seen some leaked videos of it.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Right? And it greets fans that are there by saying Nyan Nichiwa, because it's a combination of Konnichiwa, which means hello, and Nyan, like Nyan cat, Japanese for meow.
Holy crap.
Yep, it's a 1,600 square foot curved LED screen, and like it's not advertising. There's 2 companies that are operating the billboard, but it's more to just kind of raise spirits versus advertising something.
Yeah, here's another one with a Cyclops that's showing. I think there's maybe a different 3D billboard that's happening. Oh, wow, that's crazy.
That is creepy. How does it, like, that is nuts. Like, how did the arm come out over the stuff? Look, I'm Katie Dudas.
I'm going to look at it again. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Too many inputs. Too many inputs. There, we're back to it.
But how does it?
Oh, so
is that border part of the LED?
Yeah. So where you see the fingers, like that should be part of the LED, but enough of it is because notice nothing goes over the light post, right? So
and nothing drops below that bottom border.
Right. So they made part of the screen look like it's part of the building to push the hand over the edge kind of idea and everything like that. So I want to see how that works because like is it working at all angles? Like you have to stand in a certain kind of range for this to work? Like what if I'm standing because the screen looks like it does come like out and around the corner, right? So like is that going to be obfuscated if you're like on the edge? Like what happens there? So I'm really that looks really cool. Like those are nuts. And there's some other looks like art installations that it has marked here as well. In South Korea, it looks like China as well. So this turned into just an article of just a bunch of 3D billboards, right, Katie?
Oh, absolutely. But the cat might be doing something different on next week.
Oh, what's the cat going to do?
I don't know. It just says that they're teasing that the cat might be up to something new next week.
Could you imagine they start doing that on like Times Square? So, as if it isn't enough on Times Square for something like that. So, no, it'll be interesting to see. Oh, I guess, wait, is this another angle I'm looking at here at the bottom? It looks like it's another angle of that same billboard. So you can kind of see the structure of it. It's like curved around the edge. And I don't know if this one's supposed to be in 3D or something. This is a live stream of that billboard, apparently. So this is what's happening now at that billboard.
Yeah, every so often, like, so the cat will disappear and be around for a bit, and then they'll put something up. Yeah, so it's not all the time.
Yeah, they're just playing like a music video, and it's not even taking up the whole billboard. And it's at kind of a peculiar angle, so you see the curvature and everything. So I do wonder like what that would look like, that 3D would look like from here. Maybe no, you can't go back on the video. It looks like, so it's just live and not captured. So I want to leave that up and see if we come across anything later in the show. So
I'll let you know if I'll keep an eye on it too. And I'll let you know if it pops up.
All right, we'll just leave that over here in this tab here. No problem. Chilla, what is your awesome thing of the week?
My awesome thing of the week is actually an article written by 9 to 5 Mac. One of the things that I constantly have to do is carry around a multitude of devices because I need a multitude of operating systems to test things on.
Mm-hmm.
And they wrote a very, very nice article called Digital Inception. Here's how to run Android, ChromeOS, Windows, and obviously macOS on your Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So they talk about Windows. You have 2 different options. I choose the Boot Camp option. Obviously, Boot Camp, you can install Windows 10 right on your Mac. It creates a second partition. You get full use of all the hardware. Apple's created drivers for Windows 10, so you shouldn't have many issues getting things like the touchpad or anything to work. Or you can run something like Parallels or VirtualBox or choose your own virtual machine where it's just a piece of software you run on top of macOS and you can run Windows kind of inside of right sitting on top of macOS like in a window. Parallels kind of lets you do, like from what I've read, a halfway in between, which is pretty cool. But Windows is just the tip of the iceberg. They talk about BlueStacks, which is now free. They were talking about charging, but it's an emulator for both Mac and Windows that allows you to use Android apps right on the laptop, which is pretty darn nice. I've used that before. It's good. It's actually pretty good for games. So you want to get your Android game on. And obviously things like the Apple Arcade run on Mac OS already. And then ChromeOS, it's not 100% supported, but they recommend Cloud Ready Neverwhere, which I think we've talked about on the show before. Cloud Ready and the Neverwhere software that runs ChromeOS is not supported or not recommended on VirtualBox, which is a free virtual machine engine. But they do have information on how to use a version of VMware to run your virtual machine with Chrome OS sitting on top of it. So with that being said, if you think about the number of apps they're trying to port from iOS over to macOS, including obviously the arcade, most of the arcade, you will be able to use things like Xbox and their streaming tech with Ultimate Game Pass. Now you can also have Android Chrome OS along with Windows. I mean, you could have one device to truly rule them all. Obviously, you're just going to need a big hard drive.
That's what I've
ramp up them drives.
I actually started treating. So I got Boot Camp on my computer, but I don't have a lot of space on it because I have other Mac stuff, right? On my MacBook Pro. And I finally got another hard drive. Did I talk about this on the show? I got another hard drive. I treat it like I do my Xbox, where I have a secondary terabyte hard drive, and I just download everything to it. I plugged that in on my Boot Camp side of my MacBook, and just downloaded like a bunch of Steam games and a bunch of stuff from Game Pass. And it feels very Xbox. Although I think I'm not. I have a late 2018 MacBook Pro. Like an expensive MacBook Pro, and I believe it said it could not support. What game was it? Was it Flight Simulator that wouldn't support the hardware? If not them, it was Gears of War, maybe. But
that's surprising. But
yeah, that seems weird to me. It's
with the streaming stuff. Because I think Gears is supported on the stream, isn't it?
It's supported on the stream, but Chilla, what happens when I'm in the Holiday Inn and all I have is the hotel Wi-Fi? That doesn't really work out for me too well. So I started I played Rocket League from my hotel the other night because I'm just gonna download these things, and I have an extra hard drive. I throw my backpack, and then when I want a game on the road, I just do that, and then. I can pick up where I left off in a lot of the Xbox games because they're mostly cross-compatible. Also, I am currently downloading BlueStacks on the show-off machine right now, so we'll see how that goes. So, listen, if I can play Monster Madness from the old Mega Touch machine that I had downloaded on my Nexus 7, then this is worthwhile. So, yes.
Let me know how that goes, and if you also look up, what was it called? It works perfectly. You have a Mac with an SD card slot.
I do not.
But you carry around multiple hard drives.
I do. I mean, I got a converter, or I got an adapter, and stuff. So, but yeah.
I would highly recommend checking out OpenEMU. OpenEMU. It's a open emulator for Mac.
Yes, I have that.
And I think that I've gotten good range, everything up through the N64.
I get good until it's a CD based thing because I can never get the ROM file to work. So, and I'd love to play my Sega CD games. Katie, I know we've talked about this before on the show about getting Sega CDs to work, right?
Yeah, you just want to play Echo.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to do is play Echo. Yeah, no. I want to play my CD quality Final Fight and Lethal Enforcers again. Come on, and I have the discs, so you know. But at Echo the Dolphin, I tell you what.
I just liked their interface because much like a lot of the what did XBMC become? I can't remember now. Cody. Their library system is really, really nice with automatically grabbing cover art and all kinds of other stuff. So that's the one thing I like about their setup.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Well, my awesome thing is the space race. So Richard Branson went to space, or did he? I don't know. It depends on who you ask. So of course, I think everybody's heard by now the Jeff Bezos going to space, and Branson announced that he was going to space 9 days beforehand. Now, this is where it gets a little finicky. And by the way, I do have to say, because I'm looking at the monitor and just noticed, I was given this hat by Blue Origin. They are not a sponsor, and all they gave me with this hat, because they were a sponsor at one of the events that I was at. But I just like the hat, and it's a rocket company, so I wear it. But anyways, so you have the debate on whether Branson actually went to space. He's got the Virgin Galactic thing going on. He's got basically it's a orbital plane, I guess, right? That they went up, and you get up, you get to see space, you get to be in weightlessness for 4 or 6 minutes, something like that. There's some images from it. And there you go. And I guess you're gonna be it. You too, awesome casters, can get your ticket for this for a mere $250,000. So no problem. So yeah, and there you see the plane there that landed, that went up. So it's one of those orbital kind of planes versus what they're doing at the Blue Origin, and Bezos is going to be a bit higher. There was actually, let me see if it's still. Did you guys see the chart that Blue Origin put up that was just digging at this situation?
I did not, but Mr. Podner in the chat, who is the closest thing we have to a on-cast expert in space, says he hit the edge.
Mm-hmm.
It was not. It was a suborbit flight.
Yeah, suborbital. There's this whole infographic that they posted recently on Blue Origin that talks about the difference between their flight and with the New Shepard and Branson's flight with the Virgin Galactic. So it is actually on a rocket. It is actually going to be, well, I guess, relatively orbital or something like that. There's the designation, the recognized designation they got into here of what orbital means, how many miles above the surface that is, and it's just it's really kind of, some of it's really kind of finicky and kind of funny, but it is hilarious to me for these are two guys with more money than God, right? And they've decided to go to space with it in whatever method that was. Obviously, Branson's is different than Bezos, and they're both looking at this space tourism idea, right? For whatever you think of the back and forth of this is I feel this is a net positive for space technology moving forward with that, whatever that looks like. Even if it is for now just a thing rich people get to do, or save your pennies and you get to do, so you have that opportunity. But either way, I mean, it's pushing technology forward, and it's really kind of funny to watch. Did you watch the Branson video where he's riding up between two cars on his bike? And by the way, this spaceport is it in the middle of New Mexico, I think? So he's in the middle of the desert. I don't think he biked that whole way. That guy's 70 years old or something, isn't he? 60 years old, something like that. So it's just, the video is so overly produced and hilarious. Not as hilarious as the Mark Zuckerberg surfboarding video with the flag from last week. I know you guys have seen that one. But still, it is kind of interesting to watch, and of course, everybody's got some pretty crazy show-off videos and of what this is going to be looking like here in the next week. So that is on July 20th, I believe, is when they're taking off. tomorrow live auction. No, I'm getting into some other stuff here. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Katie, what do you think about this new space race that's happening?
I want to. If the whole world wasn't in such a crappy position, it would be way cooler. Like,
It's a good distraction at
better
least,
things.
right?
Huh?
It's a good distraction at least.
Yeah, it's just hard to like watch them like who's got the bigger you know what when there's so many things. It's like this would be better to do it with this. Use your money for this.
Yeah,
So it's hard. I want to be excited, but it's hard.
Yeah. 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 So,
That's the name of the show. Space D word now.
space. Well, you chill.
It's interesting, but what's like maybe I'm not as versed or well versed enough to know. Like, what does this get us? Like, is this really going to get us like you're going to be able to go up and get dropped off, or
yes, actually.
To Dutter's point, is this in our lifetime, I guess, and maybe this is something we just need to do, but I kind of agree with Dutter's. Like, is this the best that people could use their extra free time to do?
First of
all,
yeah, absolutely not. But either way, it is pushing technology forward, and there are talks about, like, they have that spaceport idea, and I forget which of the rocket companies, rich guy rocket companies we're talking about here, but one of them was talking about like Shanghai to New York in like an hour flight kind of situation when we go like orbital, suborbital, whatever that technology is. So I mean, there is kind of a push forward to, and that's a thing, you know. Commercial flights, I'm sure, were an arm and a leg when they first did it, right? So this is that kind of I don't want to call it like a technology trickle down effect, but it really is. Like, now, you know, millionaires are paying $250,000 to do this now, or a couple $1 million to do some of the other rockets, or whatever the case may be. But that does eventually become improving air travel in one way or another, you know, 20, 30 years from now, probably, right? They'll have commercialized this enough that it becomes I don't need to get on a 16-hour flight to go to Thailand, right? It becomes a different kind of concept there. You know, I mean, same as these hyperloops and underground boring tunnels and all those kinds of things. Like, I kind of put it in that same space. That's where I wish, and maybe it's one of those things where there's enough people working on the typical commuter on Earth transit. I'm more interested in how do I get from Pittsburgh to New York City, Pittsburgh to Chicago without having to board a flight, but, you know, in flight time or less. That's where I would see, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if they were pushing more of like, this is why we are doing this, because this is going to enable us in the future to do X. But it just seems like the focus is on who can get there first.
Yes.
Versus like, how is this going to benefit humankind?
Well, to help you with the messaging, Katie, let me just read the Twitter byline here, because Blue Origin, you ready? Oh, you're ready for this. Blue Origin, millions of people living and working in space to benefit Earth. Hashtag New Shepard, hashtag New Glenn, hashtag BE3. I don't know what Blue Moon, this kind of stuff. Let me see what Galactic is saying. Virgin Galactic is saying over here, because if I want to judge everybody by their Twitter descriptions tonight, is where we're going. But let's see. I know I followed them, and obviously, like, SpaceX is doing. Do I want to say the real work in the space travel? You know, they're supplementing NASA and you know, pushing experiments into space. I know some of them may be Tide and Reeboks or something for some reason, but there's some real science in there, I'm sure. Virgin Galactic's line is, are you ready for this one? Okay, all right. I'm going to just leave this on you for reaction. A new space age is coming, period. Watch Virgin Galactic Spaceflight Unity 22 on the link below. Okay, that one's a little more timely, so I guess that doesn't really give me a mission per se. What's Virgin Orbit? Wait, so there's another company called Virgin. Okay, this is Virgin Orbit is opening space for good by launching satellites from the wing of a 747. No biggie. It actually says no biggie on this thing.
Oh.
Listen, it's a whole other mindset.
It's so, being in social media, sometimes you see these things and you're just like, no. Why didn't somebody else think? I don't know.
I think it's a top-down thing. Here's SpaceX says, SpaceX designs, manufactures, and launches the world's most advanced rockets and spacecraft. That's very practical. Come on. That's great. There you go. Just tell them what you do. You can tell who's not in the middle of this this rocket measuring contest. So
rocket measuring contest.
Show title. But again, I don't know. I don't know for a fact. I don't know for a fact, but I know for sure that if they're working on rockets like this, nobody's thinking so much about down here in this space. You know what I mean? And I could be right. It's a generalization, I know. But that's what they're looking. That's the focus as far as that goes. But that's what these companies were made to do. So, well, meanwhile, down on Earth. We're supported by our good friends down here at Slice on Broadway, New York City style. Yins are made. You can't get that on the moon yet. Beachview, Carnegie, East End, and the North Hills. Plus, of course, as soon as there's a Broadway Avenue on the moon, I'm sure they'll be there too. So check out our friends, sliceonbroadway.com, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza for a decade here in Beachview. Thank you so much to those guys for supporting the show. What else do we got in here? Well, we're gonna. I've been. Hold on. Let me close my Wish search here because I started getting addicted to that.
Can you? I grabbed you a screenshot of the cat.
Oh yeah. Oh, where's that at?
I put it. It's on like line 14 of our notes.
Okay.
I don't know if you can pull it up, but I did grab a screen grab of it.
It's like bent around the corner. It's like it's running away. It's running around the corner.
And that's like the best it looked. So it's not the ideal viewpoint.
Yeah, it's not a good angle for that. Okay, so this is the look here. There you go. Yeah, it's really see if I can zoom in on this thing. Oh no, now I'm moving it. Oh no, I've ruined everything. Yeah, it just kind of wrapped around. So it's definitely it's got to be attuned to that angle if you're looking down on the ground up at it, right? Like it only makes sense. So what else we got here? Now I'm down on line 14. Let's talk about not this part. So I see somebody put in here. Thank you, Chilla, for putting this in here about Black Widow. So, you had an issue with it.
So yeah. So and I think I'm maybe the oddball out when it comes to Disney Plus. So I paid for Disney Plus via Apple subscription.
Okay.
Which makes it increasingly difficult to sign in on anything that's not an Apple device. Not normally a big deal for me because I usually have something lying around.
Understandably.
You can kind of do this weird password reset method that'll unlock Disney Plus for a period of time on another device if you're in a pinch. But like I said, usually not a big deal. I usually have an iPad, a phone, whatever laying around. The weird thing is I could not get, and I don't know what it's supposed to look like to the normal human. I could not get a purchase button inside of any of the Disney Plus apps across a multitude of Apple devices.
Really? So actually I don't pay for it because I had a year. I paid for 3 years up front, and which I probably did through the website. And I think I had a year through FiOS, so I don't know.
But you have to pay for Black Widow because it's $30.
Right. So well, here's what I did. Let me background. I did watch Black Widow in the theaters. Paid I think $10 after Fandango fees. Really shouldn't have paid that. It would have been okay. So watched it in the theater. Realized the screen was cropped off. So I'm like, well, okay, well, I wanted to also purchase it so Missy can see it out in California as well. And then it's like I'm gonna watch this thing at least 4 times before it's accessible to everybody. Let's be honest about it, right? I just put Marvel movies on in the background and just enjoy that. And the next day I watched it while I was doing work. So for me. And again, let's say I'm prepaid. I'm not locked into the Apple thing like you are for the account.
I'm prepaid for a year.
Yes.
I prepay a year at a time to get the discount.
But
it
through
just
Apple.
happens that my subscription revolves based on it goes direct to my iTunes account.
Mine. So Friday, I went to purchase it. Probably it was after I was done on. So like after work kind of time, I believe, maybe. Yeah. And it just came up as an Apple payment on my phone, and then it was on my account across the board. So that it worked for me. So
what I ended up having to do is I had to log in on a browser, log in with my Gmail account that's attached to my iTunes account, do a password reset because Apple uses the obfuscated fake email address with the randomly generated password that you don't get to know.
Yeah, that can be problematic eventually.
And then, so I just reset it I reset the password.
Yeah.
Which Apple automatically picks up on. And then I purchased it there. And then I signed out and signed back in on all my devices and poof, it miraculously worked.
Well, there you go. Well, it worked for a lot of people because apparently the Disney Plus option netted about $60 million. The theaters in America netted 80, and I believe it was 70 for international. So wow. Just the domestic weekend of 80 million alone beats the crap out of Fast 9, which was only available in the theaters 2-3 weeks previously. So I'd say it worked for them.
I would definitely say it worked for them.
Yeah, they said that 80 million. I was listening to Cord Killers, and they said that 80 million for they're calling it like a Black Widow, like they're calling it this tier of Marvel movie, which feels reductive when they say that for Black Widow, but they're talking about like it's not an Avengers movie, right? Like obviously those are going to be like nuts, right?
It's not multiple. It's not 3 or more stars.
Yes, exactly. So they get compared to like Doctor Strange. Like it was on the left. Like just that domestic weekend looks like Doctor Strange as far as numbers go. And then you add to that the fact that they did another worldwide, another good bit, and also the Disney Plus thing. Now comparably, again, I think they said 19% of movie theaters are still closed. I can tell you where I was in Jackson, Michigan, which is like in the Wait, we did this on the show last night, which is right here, I believe, right here in the middle of the Mitt, okay, in Michigan. I looked up on Fandango, and it was the only, like a mile from me was the only theater in 30 miles, to the point that the AMC across the street was still closed up there. And the AMCs, I believe, are all open down here in Pittsburgh. So, but again, Michigan, I believe, was a little longer in getting kind of back up to speed, correct? So, I mean, even I watched a wrestling show out of Maryland, and while we're watching our packed crowds in Florida, they're still doing pods in Maryland-based, Baltimore-based pro wrestling shows. So, again, everybody's at a different level. Not everybody's wide open, even though it might look like it wherever you may be. That's impressive. I think that's a testament to, it's one of the bigger movies that do this kind of thing. It is the biggest movie that do this kind of thing, obviously, by the numbers. But, we already got movie theaters down to like a 30-day window. Like you're going to see stuff on Peacock in like 4 months after it comes out. Like Fast 9, I think is going to be on Peacock in 4 months if I listen to the story correctly today. So I'm just waiting for Quiet Place 2 to pop up on Paramount Plus myself. So I can, watch it with headphones and really go nuts on that thing. But I don't know. What do you guys think of this kind of like shifted window idea?
In 4 months, I'll get all the memes about family.
Oh, you. I don't. You know what? I don't think you need to watch the movie to get those. I mean, it's been a thread for a while for 8 movies, hasn't it? So, yeah.
What's the release schedule for their Disney Plus release? Because I don't think it's even 3 months, is it?
For Black Widow, I think it's 3 months. I think it drops for everybody in October. So
that's not bad. I mean,
no, that's not bad at all. I can pull it up real quick because it actually says it. If you look on Cruella, I think pops up at the end of August, so I'm waiting out for that one. And I saw reviews, or I don't know if it would have been worth $30, maybe a drive-in or something. Or something like that, and of course everything's going to be, and I'll be interested to see if this continues as we get to the Eternals coming up in the fall. Spider-Man's obviously a Sony movie.
that's not till Christmas.
That's not until Christmas. Wasn't there another? Oh, Shang-Chi was another one that comes up. So yeah, if I click on Cruella, you can still unlock it for $30, but it will also be available to everybody on August 27th. And I think that launched at the beginning of June, late May, perhaps. And if I go to Black Widow, and also, did you watch The Good, the Bart, and the Loki Simpsons parody? That's only
no, but I have
Simpsons
watched. I am caught up on Loki.
Yes.
It's not Wednesday yet, so yeah, I'm caught up on Loki, and that's worth all the. I think I would, and I liked. Was it Falcon Winter Soldier more than I liked WandaVision, and I like Loki more than Falcon Winter Soldier, and Falcon Winter Soldier was pretty darn good. I'm sorry.
You know what? It was just like a long Marvel movie. Actually, it does not tell me now that I have it when it's open to everybody else, because why would it tell me? But I think it is October. I think it's like a 3 month.
I did find an article that read October.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we gotta wait till next year for Doctor
Strange.
So
it works for Disney. We'll see how it works for everybody else. So Paramount apparently commented on it over today or over the next couple of days or something like that. So I enjoyed it. It's worth it for. I mean, I'm probably not going to grab a Blu-ray when it comes out because it's going to be on Disney Plus, right? So, I'm not too, and plus multiple people are going to be able to see that, and I'll watch it multiple times even before that. So I'm not worried about that. I'm still really kind of blown back that a Pixar movie popped up out of nowhere last month. This Luca movie. But
I've heard good things about that. I don't know.
Me too.
I've
yeah, I'm trying to get a minute to sit down and watch that one. It looked like it would be kind of interesting. So Black Widow's doing just fine. Dudders, what do you got here you want to talk about?
Let's see. Let's talk about what Twitter's doing. Well, no. I take it back. This might interest Chilla, so let's talk about this. Apple is now offering a $99 MagSafe battery pack for the iPhone 12 family. So it's you know how it works? Magnets. But so you can buy it now. Looks like the author of the story in The Verge said it's going to ship deliveries between July 22nd and 26th. But this just goes in the back of your phone. It definitely does not charge your phone as quickly as other means, but it definitely will work well for if you're in a pinch.
I question how fast you need to charge a phone, especially if the magnet or if the battery is attached to the back of it. Like the only thing that I have seen drain a battery faster than I can charge it, depending on which charger I'm using, is Roblox. Which that's probably the Roblox community person is probably not going to be the person that's interested in this device. I am super excited about this. I actually have. Is it here? I think it might be attached to another phone that's upstairs. Yeah, no, it is. It's down here. I actually have one of the old school battery packs that was made by Apple. You can see the Apple logo on the back. This device is kind of a rubber. You literally slide your iPhone into it.
It's a battery.
The lightning adapter.
It's a
bottom.
It's a battery pack case. It's kind of like a Mophie situation.
Yeah, but it has what I liked about it. It has the perfect pass-through lightning adapter. It works extremely well. It's slim. The pass-through on the buttons is very nice. I just thought it was a very, very nice device for what I needed. It would last me. I could get over a day with pretty decent heavy usage on it. So I used it when I was traveling, back when people traveled. This to me is just so much nicer because you can take it off. I am a fan of the magnets, so I have the wallet. I use the magnet charger. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of that. I can swap out the thing on the back of the device for what I need at that moment. And this is just another one of those things to add to the arsenal. And personally, I'm not worried about the thing that I thought was interesting was I read articles that it's recommended you use one of the faster, more high-powered charging technologies to charge the battery pack, and it will pass through charge. And if the battery pack is plugged in, it will actually pass charge to the device faster. I don't know if that means they're worried about, they couldn't be worried about some kind of heat issue because it would generate the more. I don't know what they're worried about. The only thing I wish they would have done is made it a little bit bigger. You're not going to be able to top up to 100% depending on which phone you have with that battery pack.
And Dave's saying in the chat room, if you plug in you can charge both. Not sure how two-way charging from the iPhone works. So yeah, I've had that because like my charger, like I have a wireless charger in the car, but it doesn't charge fast enough when I'm like on a 3.5-hour drive, running a GPS and music off of it, right? So like I'll pull another cord and plug it in. So I hope it's not damaging the phone having two kind of charging apparatuses kind of connected at the same time. But I mean it seems to work out for me, I guess. So yes. I'm trying to log into BlueStacks right now, so sorry. I had one more to touch on here that actually Amanda Narcissi had shared with us. Big updates to the transit app, according to netspittsburgh.com. The country's first integrated mobility system connecting all transit options in one app. Now, this is an app that I use. The transit app's really nice here in Pittsburgh, and I believe it applies in many of the markets as well. It tells you, like, you can see like more or less exactly where your train and your bus is that's coming your way. So I've used it a lot when I've had to like make a trek downtown to see when the train's coming. If you need to connect across multiple lines, it takes care of that kind of situation. But on top of that, it is also they have new transit options that are going to be integrated into this, including new low-speed electric scooters provided by Spin. I believe those just launched here in the last couple of weeks in Pittsburgh. Car sharing abilities by Zipcar, electric mopeds by Scooby. I know we see the Scoobies around here a good bit, not this neighborhood, but I know more towards the middle of the city. Carpool matching and commuting services through Waze Carpool. Let's see, charging of e-scooters with Swift Mile. So you're just like pulling in a lot of services at this point. More mobility information from transit screens, and of course your trip planning and trip booking through the transit app itself. So it's I'd say it was a heck of a useful thing beforehand, but now that kind of rolls as like like, okay, if I take the train to this stop and then I can grab a scooter and go the 4 or 5 blocks, that doesn't have a direct connection, like it would integrate all those kinds of things together from the sounds of things. So I think, well, Chilla, you're the most transit used person living in Dormont. I mean, it's all about having that train in a town, but I guess you don't have a terribly complicated situation there.
It's not terribly complicated, but I'll be honest with you, like the one thing I wish, and I'll have to find the link for the transit app because I've never used it, but I did notice as my first foray into returning to work recently, and we're going in probably at least a day a week. I wish I could just use my phone to pay. Like, I'm tired of the cards.
I tell you what, when I was in New York City 2 weekends ago, Apple Pay, I believe, popped up
You
a
just-
notification and
Yep.
said, "Hey, you're enabled for."
You can pay on the
Yeah.
Metro with it, and that's what I wish we had here.
We didn't have. We were driving around, so I didn't get a chance to do the Metro this time. But yeah.
But I will say, interestingly, it's funny that you mentioned it, because I was coming out of the T station this morning, and I swear there was nothing on the sidewalk across from the Steel City or Steel Plaza T stop. You know where like Brugger's is, kind of across the street there.
Yeah.
I swear there was nothing painted on the ground, but when I walked back to the train this afternoon, there was like an end spot you would never fit a car in, like because they have street parking right there.
Yeah.
There's an end spot across the street from Brugger's that you would never be able to fit a car in, but they had painted it white, and it had a picture of a scooter and a bike. And it had, I'll have to take a picture of it when I go in on Thursday, and tweet it out to AwesomeCast. I think it had a logo in the middle, and then wouldn't you know, someone pulled up and dropped the scooter off right there. So I'm like, well, this is kind of awesome because you could take the train, walk it literally across the street, and hop on a scooter and be on your way.
Mm-hmm.
So
to bounce around
I'm
downtown.
actually excited. I could make it pretty far into the strip district quickly if depending on what was open for lunch, and make it back pretty quickly for maybe a minimal amount of money.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's those short trips kind of thing. Katie, do you see using something like this? I know you're more of a car mover though.
Car mover person.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not keen on the scooters, because if you've ever been in a city where they've had the scooters do not go back to a home. The scooters go, oh, here you go, I'm done.
I just saw piles of them around Nashville.
Yeah,
That's what I did. I saw that as well.
I saw the article. I was like, oh, we got scooters in Pittsburgh. I was like, oh no. I think I tweeted it with something like, oh, here we go.
And our sidewalks are such a mess to begin with, and then you're just going to throw scooters on top of it. It's like, no.
Yeah. Where do the scooters go? Are they supposed to be in the bike lanes? Are they supposed to be on the street? Or are they is it a
I wouldn't think you would.
I don't know what the rules are.
Should be going on the sidewalk on those things.
Hopefully they give you like kind of a hey, this is how you're supposed to ride a scooter in these lanes and this, and make sure you obey this, that, and the other thing. So, and by the way, I'm trying go ahead.
People are just dropping them on there, though.
Yeah,
That's how it was happening in like other cities. They were just like, oh, I'm done with it, and I don't want to throw it on this private property, so I'll just leave it on the sidewalk.
And then they have to have people that go around in a pickup truck and just throw all the scooters in the back and return them. I can't remember that was like internally, or if they like people like it, that became another like gig economy of becoming a scooter picker upper, and it's easy to find them because they all have GPS, because they're all got things going. Oh, okay, here we go. This is my first BlueStacks experiment. I'm actually logging into the transit app on my laptop via Android. So, oh no, let's see if location services work on here. But we'll see what happens with that. So this is great. Now I can download Android apps and show them off on the show, and I don't have to connect to anything else. So when those kinds of things come up. So let's see, set my home, show upcoming events. Let's see what happens. Access my calendar. Let's see what. I'm trying to just get to a map like I'm used to on this thing. But anyways, that's enough of that. Well, I think that is a full show of awesome things here, guys. Is there anything, I don't know, was there anything else that needs to be mentioned? It looks pretty straightforward. Galactic. TikTok is letting U.S. users apply for jobs with video resumes. Does that seem like a good idea at all? I don't know. I haven't looked too deep into it. I didn't know they were talking about it on the other thing, but I'm also not entirely looking for a job. So, yeah. Anyways, Chilla. He's at Chilla on the Twitters.
John Chichilla on the Facebooks. Now I'm playing with the transit app.
Riding scooters, or you can find him riding scooters around downtown on his lunch break, probably. Coming up here.
If you come into town, we can have a scooter race.
Yeah, there you go.
And we will very kindly replace the scooters where they belong.
I did get a bike once in Dallas because I was supposed to meet people at the other end of the park that we were at. So I had the Uber drive me off at one end, and I'm like, oh, I'll walk across. It's a nice day. And then I was like, oh, let me take a bike for a little bit. So it's my only experience doing one of those bike share programs. Katie is Katie Dudas on the Twitter, Kate Marie PGH on the Instagram, I think is right.
Yep. Yay. Good job.
So, lots of good stuff over there. And of course, I'm at Sorgatron on all the places, including TikTok. Apparently, I haven't done TikTok for a while though. I kind of fell out of it again, but we'll see. I'm hoping to do some things that we get on there a little bit more again, especially with the AwesomeCast account. And again, thank you everybody. Please make sure you subscribe, rate, and review, and join us on Patreon to support the show. We'll see you guys next time. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.